Welcome to Robin's Roost. Today I'm going to be thinking snow and snowman. So this is a card that I did for my mystery stamping game that I do on my Facebook group, the Creative Chicks, and I'm going to switch it up a little bit for our tutorial today. This is a side fold. I'm going to actually do the card as a top fold and do little different colors on it, but it's basically going to be the same card. We're doing some tearing to make the snow and a little bit of coloring, and I'm sorry to say fussy cutting because this stamp set does not have dies that match this stamp. So let's flip the camera and we'll get started. So first of all, my mat today, my son Ethan, who did this probably in about first grade, is now in his 30s, and he'd probably be appalled if he saw me putting this out here. But it just made me happy to find it and think about, old times. So I thought I'd use it as my mat until it gets in too bad a shape, and then I'm going to toss it, which is unusual for me. So this is the stamp set that we're going to be using. It is actually one of the online exclusives. Now, there is a die set that that will coordinate with it. I believe it cuts out the maybe the light bulbs, and I know it cuts out the wagon. It actually, the die set went with another filled with something stamp set, which is just escaping my brain right at the moment. But anyways, let's get on with the card. So I seem to have lost everything. So we've got our card base that's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And as I said before, the other card was actually a side fold, so you could do either. And then I had all my pieces cut, and then I moved stuff. Where the heck did I put them? Left them on the trimmer. So I've got 3 pieces of white that are going to be our layers of snow. So they're going to layer on like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to tear them to make our snow drifts. So I'm going to start on the upper right corner on the tallest one. And I'm just going to tear off for our snowdrift. Maybe I didn't have the tallest one. Well, let's start over here. It's going to start. Yeah, it shouldn't matter. We're just going to go the opposite way. So this one, which is in reality my tallest one, we're just going to start on the other side. And it really isn't too important on what sizes you have on these, just that you're going to layer them. So let's see. I think what I need to do, since I grabbed the wrong one, is I'm just going to make this one a little bit lower. Got some wicked wind, I think, when this snowdrift was forming. Okay, so there's my next one, and then this guy, I'm going to want him maybe to be a little bit lower than what I've got him. So you can see each one is going to be just a little bit different because, the wind blows the snow in different places. And you can also do a big piece and then flip the pieces too if you want. So here's my snowdrift. Now, I'm going to attach these down. Maybe get rid of some of the snow I have all over my table. And when I do, so the first one can go completely down just fine. Now my second one, when I put it down, I want to leave this space right here open so that I can tuck my snowman in there. So I don't want to put adhesive on this top part. And you can see if you wanted your snowdrift to go higher up, you could make it a little higher. Now this one we can adhere completely down. I'm just going to run one big one across there. Now when you when you do it on a top fold card, you could actually have these a little bit longer and then trim them off if they ran over. That's kind of one of the pluses of doing the top fold card when you're gluing something across the bottom like that. Okay, now here is our piece. Let's get rid of some of this. So we're going to stamp our snowman with some Memento ink in Tuxedo Black. And I'm using the Memento ink because I am going to be coloring with Stampin' Blends. Now, of course, our snowman doesn't have a lot of color. If you want, you can take some light gray and do along the edges for some shading, which I might go grab that yet. I am going to not do a lot of shading on this. Let's see. Well, let's start with the light. So I'm going to make our sled red. Then we'll take some shaded spruce. Then just a little bit of the dark. Next, some black for his hat. Pumpkin pie for his nose. And some smoky slate. And the final crowning glory, some lemon yellow, lemon lolly. And let's give it a little sparkle with some Winkostella. Now that we have it all cut out, we're just going to tuck it in our snowbanks where we left our little spot. So just going to put a little adhesive here, and oh, I want to get a little bit on the star. Okay. And I'll clean that up later. Okay. we're just going to tuck it in so it looks like he's kind of nestled into the snowbank. And then I have this, I don't know, it's probably about 1.5 inch piece of white that I'm going to use for my greeting, which is a warm hello. And then, you know, I want some snowflakes behind there. So let me grab. Okay, I used snowflakes from the Sweetest Star on my last one, but I've got some in this Reindeer Fun. So if you had a stamp set with some snowflakes, because there aren't any in this Snowman set, in the Filled with Cheer. And then I'm going to take Balmy Blue is what I'm using. You could use Pool Party as well to match your paper, but this happens to be the one that I just grabbed. I just want it to be really light. And, oh gosh, I have scraps of paper everywhere. My table is a mess. I've been doing about 4 different things. Here we go. Here's a scrap, because I don't want to stamp on my... Okay, so then I'm just going to stamp off so it's lighter, because I just want them to be just kind of a little bit in the background to give that snow feeling. Okay. And of course you could just leave yours plain white if you didn't have all this extra stuff around. Now I want to tear this into a flag. So I left my piece a little bit long because I wasn't quite sure how it would work. So I'm just going to, so it kind of goes with the snowy look, and it doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, it isn't. And then I'm just going to adhere this down. Now if you wanted to make it really stand out more, you could put maybe a dark blue around this, just a 1/4 inch bigger. But I'm happy with it just like that. And then I have some of these gorgeous, what are they called? Iridescent faceted gems. They're really sparkly, so they look like snowflakes to me. If you had some of the snowflake sequins, they would work good too. So we're just gonna smatter a few of these on here. It's snowing pretty heavy on my card. Okay. That's our outside. Now for the inside, I've just got a piece of basic white. It's 3 3/4 by 5. And I've got the image with the presents. And I guess we have a couple of plants in there maybe too. So I'm just going to put this down here. Oh sure, and it didn't stamp. Okay, let's flip this over and try again. I must not have got that middle part inked. Okay, looks good this time. Voila. Nobody will know that it didn't work the first time, right? And then we have another greeting for the inside, sending loads of Christmas cheer. So of course these fit in that in the wagon as well. And then you know what? As long as we have the snow here, let's do the same thing. Oh, I gotta find my scrap piece again. Can you hear my beagle snoring? He's really going at it under the table. He must have had a rough night. Okay, perfect. Now, I think I am just going to leave these black and white, but you could take your markers and go ahead and color them as well. We're going to quickly cover up this boo-boo here. No one will ever see it. And there, we have our cute, warm Hello Snowman card. Hope you enjoyed this. And I've got the address for my website below if you need to purchase any supplies. Now, if you're watching this on Wednesday when I'm posting it, there is actually a sale going on. So the Stampin' Up! Inks are on sale, the blending pens, the all this paper, all the cardstocks, the designer series paper, pretty much all of the papers and inks from the annual catalog are on sale, as well as the bundles. Okay, so normally the bundles are 10% off. During the sale, they're 20, so that's a double savings. Another thing to keep in mind, just a little, FYI, if you really are into saving and you do a lot of stamping and purchasing, you can put these items into a starter kit, and you can get the starter kit price plus the sales price. So double bonus, especially if you have a lot of stuff that you want to stock up on. If you're starting stamping, it's a great time. And you always get 20% off on your orders when you belong to Stampin' Up. A lot of people are just what we call hobby demos. They purchase their own and maybe for a couple friends. And of course, some people make it their business. It's their livelihood. I fall kind of in between. I'm a little bit too wound up in this to call it a hobby. I'm really, really trying to make it more of a part-time job. Not that I really need a job at my point in life, but I love doing this, and I love sharing. So, and I would really, really love to earn the incentive trip, which is it's a huge goal. Feels far out of my reach, but maybe someday. And I'm kind of rambling, aren't I? I apologize. Hope you enjoyed the card, and thank you for stopping by at the Roost.